Probably the worst conditions that I've ever seen as far as fishing a redfish tournament. I mean, the water was as chocolate milk as you can imagine, dirty as can be, high water. Water was almost as high as a tropical storm. Water was actually over the grass in the marsh. In your boat, you've got one thing in your mind, and when you start going to the areas that you're going to fish, and you see that, wow, I'm up against the wall here. So I don't even tie on my baits until I get to where I'm fishing because on any given day. It doesn't matter what I'm doing because I don't know what the conditions are going to be. I mean, there was really two lures that I thought would do that, and that was my Redfish Magic spinner baits and popping cork because it was so dingy water and so dark. Popping cork in some of the areas just wasn't working because it was so grassed over. The spinner bait, at least I could roll it over the grass and slow it down if there was an opening, like what we call a little sand pit or something like that. But you couldn't see it. You could just feel when you were rolling the spinner bait through the water that it was not being obstructed. So I'd let it drop down, and that wasn't working either. But it was just tough conditions. It's all it was. I was very excited to be able to fish the EFL because I've always wanted to fish this type of format because I truly think that it brings out the best and for me the worst that happened on my particular day. But uh, without a doubt, I've fished redfish tournaments for, gosh, I don't know how many years, and it's the same old, where it's two fish, 27 inches, and they got to be 8 or 9 pounds to be, competitive. I've seen so many tournaments where slime coats or whatever just makes the difference of win or losing. This is a totally different format. You don't know where you're going in the morning. You don't know anything until you get in your truck at 4:30 in the morning what your location is going to be. So that's when your head starts spinning as far as what I'm going to do, how I'm going to handle my day, and the day goes by so fast. It's incredible, how your mind is. You're constantly thinking, is that pond over there going to be cleaner? Is that pond over there going to have, better fish in it or whatever? For me, it's such a challenge for everybody's skills. Every angler that's involved in it is up against the same wall. Once I got to my area, it was just chocolate milk, and I said, I'm going to have to either fish blind casting spinner baits or popping corks, and I did both because I thought that was going to be my best chance because there was thick grass and the water was dirty, so there wasn't a lot of lures that you could use to fish it effectively. Really thought when I got in my truck and I was driving over to our location to fish that 80 pounds minimum would be the cutting line, and I thought pretty sure I could catch that easily, and I wouldn't have been surprised if it would have went over 100 pounds. But the conditions, and I say this to everybody when I'm doing seminars and things, the conditions dictate what you do as an angler. And yesterday our conditions were pretty tough for an angler. Wow, what a tough question because all my sponsors are important to me, but this is the one piece of equipment that really doesn't get a lot of recognition and people don't think about. But if you live in Louisiana, you would think about it because our roads are like going through a 3-foot chop in a lot of places, and it's my McLean trailer. It carries my boat, it carries my motor, it carries my equipment, and without having that McLean trailer to support my boat and everything else that's in my boat, I'd probably be sitting on the side of the road trying to get somebody to help me to fix that trailer so I can move on. Well, obviously, I didn't do well yesterday, so I'm going into the elimination round, hopefully to make the championship, to make the cut for the championship. And the only thing that I could hope for is I don't fish under those conditions again. Because last night, I didn't even beat myself up. I didn't second guess myself. I don't think there was anything I could have done differently to be successful. I just didn't. I mean, I was hitting every point, every gut, every place that the redfish should have been in, and I just did not find the fish. So the only thing that I can hope for the elimination round is that I have better conditions. And if not, I'll just do the same thing that I did yesterday. I mean, I fished like I thought I should have fished. I'm not second guessing myself at all. I've never had the opportunity to fish a boat that fishes in shallow water. I've fished deep water boats the entire time, and really, there's been some locations where that has hindered me. So I was excited, and yes, I've been working for about a year and a half with Jimmy Metz, who owns Tidewater Boats, and and I say working with them, you know, they're doing the bottom part, and I've gone over to the factory to help them on the layout for some of the things that anglers would want as far as the way the rocket launches are, the way the storage is, and things like that. You know, to me, minor things, but you know, yesterday I learned one thing: the performance of this 25 Tidewater cat was unbelievable. I mean, we crossed a couple bays. It was 2 foot white cap chop, not a drop of water on us. Nobody got beat up. I got in shallow water that I've never been able to fish before. Got up in shallow water that I've never been able to fish before. So this is a boat that they're designing not only for the weekend and recreational angler, but tournament anglers as well. I mean, there's a lot of people that fish redfish that don't fish tournaments, but you know, it comes down to equipment. And if you're really going to be a serious red fisherman and you like to get into some shallow waters and you like to fish some deep waters as well, this is going to be a boat that will revolutionize red fishing. And obviously a boat is a big part of your equipment. And so yesterday was actually the first day I was on the water with it. And so I was fishing a tournament. I mean, I literally put my GPS on the night before, and I was super impressed. And there's things that we're going to be changing on the boat. They're minor changes, but they're better changes for the fishermen. So something that is extremely good right now is only going to get better. Well, you know, Shaw Grigsby and I have been friends for years. In fact, we talk almost once a week. And yeah, I mean, I've watched for, you know, the last few years, and I knew it was a tough format because Shaw has explained it to me. And Shaw's done the same thing that I've done. There's days when he's zero, and I'll call him and say, "Man, keep your chin up and all that." He's still an awesome fisherman. I mean, I've fished with him so many times. I mean, he's better than I am. He can fish for anything. He's a great fisherman. I understand it more now because I've been through it. And you know, when you know that you, and not to say this in a this certainly doesn't meant to be a cocky statement, but when you know you're a good fisherman and you come back with nothing, that hurts. I mean, that hits home pretty hard. So, and I'll talk to Shaw, you know, this afternoon when I'm driving home, and I've always told him, I said, man, look, you know you're good, move on to the next one. And that's what I'm going to do. You know, that day's gone. I'm never going to look back. I'm just going to move on to the next one and go for it. All right, guys, thank you.